What's going on, my PT peeps? I'm walking that family of my fighters on one eyebrow, also known as PT. I don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 10, Handle with Care, Easter eggs, callbacks, connections, discussion, breakdown. So obviously, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead as a whole. But did you catch these things? Overall, Season 6, Episode 10 was a pretty good filler episode. It focused on Daniel, and we got to know him a little bit more, what he's going through, and it didn't really progress the story that much, but overall, I thought the episode was pretty good. Still, hit that subscribe button for all things Walking Dead, and join our PT channel, Walking Dead family, today. Now, I'm guessing this is Daniel because the episode focused on him, and it just makes sense, but I have to say, the hairline, it just doesn't look that good, and I'm feeling like Daniel is bald, and that guy's got hair, but overall, it looks to be Daniel. Like I said, the episode is titled Handle with Care, and that is the song playing right there by the Traveling Wilburys. And I didn't know that, but it was said by one of the showrunners for the show. And records are clearly a big connection, and music is a big thing for Daniel, as we've seen that in previous episodes. And I wonder if he still has the Half Moon album, because I don't think so, right? It's right there on the ground unless Daniel went back and picked them all up. I can't remember way back when in season 5, but it's pretty cool that you see some Easter eggs and callbacks to different shows in The Walking Dead. Again, this is the same universe, and it's a pretty cool way to do that any way they can. That's a nice big red square there with the circle in it. Like I said, we saw this back when in season 5 with Daniel and the records, and he's holding Skidmark right there. We actually got to see Skidmark in this episode, which was pretty cool. We were wondering what happened to this guy, right? We saw him in season 6, then we haven't seen him again for so many episodes, but he's right there in the cat carrier. Strand brought him back, well, I guess the ranger that is connected with Strand from Lawton, and he was at some different community. He was in charge of getting the rats, but he didn't do that. He was looking himself. And I didn't see him on the back of the horse where Daniel's bags were, but I'm just hoping he was there. Some people are saying they saw him. I didn't personally see it, but I hope he's going with him. He mentions the warehouse that Daniel had in, or was at in season 5. And it's interesting because I'm not sure they're ever going to go back there, but they probably should, because look at all the stuff that Daniel had there. It just makes sense to go back there, get supplies. I don't know how far away anything is, but the warehouse clearly makes sense to go back there at some point. They probably won't, because that's what the show does. And as I'm going through these old photos, you see Skidmark and you see Wendell along with the group here. But it's kind of funny that we made a video recently asking about Skidmark and Wendell, and we saw Skidmark, and Wendell was actually mentioned in the episode here. Sarah asked to borrow the SWAT truck so Wendell could come along. We haven't seen him since season 6, episode 6, I believe. Previous episode, nonetheless, we haven't seen him in a while, and a lot of people are asking about him. Hopefully we'll see him again very soon. But Strand was locked up, and that's nothing new. If you remember way back when, in previous seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, Strand's been locked up not once, but a couple times. In the first season, he was locked up with Nick, and right away, he's kind of used to this. And when in doubt, just keep locking Strand up, because he was there again in season 3. And so if he was in season 1, season 3, and then again in season 6, that's multiple seasons where he's locked up. But I found some similarities in season 3 with Strand being locked up and Daniel kind of helping him to get out. So it's definitely something that they brought back from season 3 to season 6. But Strand is in the jail cell. He's shot at by Daniel, but it's a warning shot. No one actually dies in this episode, and Strand does not get shot. But it reminds me of when Daniel here is pointing the gun at him and he's about to shoot him, and he talked about how he was shot in the face and how he can survive a gunshot to the face, and he pulls out the prosthetic for his cheek. But that's what happened in season 3 at the dam. So Daniel was shot in the face, and I rewatched it. He's shot through the bottom jaw into the right cheek, and he's bleeding pretty bad there. I want to know who made the prosthetic for him, but we're probably never going to find out. But Daniel was surrounded by red with multiple things here. You see the tomatoes, the hose, the rake, the cooler, the rag, and I'm not sure if it's going to mean anything for Daniel. Was it highlighting caution, just danger for Daniel in this episode, or will he die later on this season? I could see that happening. I think we're going to lose at least one more character this season. The red soup, the red tomatoes, red, all I see is red. Whether you believe it or not, that's okay. I'm not here to argue about that, but ultimately it's definitely something that was clearly poignant in this episode, but maybe it was just highlighting that Daniel was in danger and not in the right state of mind. One of the big things that you could have saw here is the red chair that June was sitting in. Don't know, you could have missed that actually, it happened very quickly, but June was sitting in a red chair. Is that connected with her loss with John? I'm not sure. And we saw the jail cell. It's kind of interesting that they're using the church as the jail, but what do you make of that? And I'm guessing Morgan built this or had a plan in building this because he built the jail cell at Alexandria, and it just makes sense that Morgan would have brought this over from Alexandria, even though they should probably be making spears to kill the walkers that come around. We'll see if they do that, but Morgan built the jail cell in Alexandria, so he's probably involved with this jail cell. Either way, it's a nice callback to Morgan at Alexandria on The Walking Dead. Daniel talks about last time he did this, he set fire to a whole place. That goes back to season 2 when they were in Mexico, and you could see that he wasn't in the right state of mind there too. So they brought this back from season 2, so it's not out of left field, as sometimes shows, and definitely Fear the Walking Dead does some crazy things, but it is a nice callback. Well, it's a matter of opinion if it's a nice callback, but either way, it's a callback to season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead, and Daniel feels that he's a danger to everybody there with Grace and Charlie and everybody, what he could do. So will he do something at Lawton? Will he put himself in danger, or does he take himself out before that happens? Now, we saw some nice moments with Charlie and Daniel. I'm not sure these two will see each other again. It was such a highlighted goodbye that Daniel could die, or I guess Charlie as well. But I see that Charlie is the new Ophelia for Daniel. He's trying to take care of her, trying to look after her. And I have to say, I thought it was kind of nice to bring the character back around, mention the character. I mean, it's Daniel's daughter, so it makes sense. And she's gone, but definitely not forgotten. And again, I can't state it enough. They really highlighted things with Charlie and Daniel, and maybe it's just to focus on their, friendship and relationship, but I don't know if it's saying that, look, they're not going to see each other, so you want it to be kind of a heartfelt goodbye, that if one of these dies, we feel it more, or it's just them saying goodbye. But did you catch the thing with Charlie and Dakota? Because clearly Charlie killed Nick, and she was kept around, and she was kind of useful for certain moments. They did the same thing with Dakota. Dakota killed John, but she's useful with the end is the beginning people, what she knows about Virginia, so they're going to keep her alive. So I don't see them killing off Dakota because she's valuable and has information about the next group that we'll encounter. Strand takes Daniel back to Lawton with him. So was it a good gesture? Was it nice? Was it something that he can control? Keep an eye on Daniel? Now, per the showrunner, after the episode or inside the episode, he kind of made it sound that he was being nice and altruistic, but also he can also keep tabs on Daniel, maybe lock him up. So he'll get the last laugh against Daniel, and I wouldn't put it Strand to have a vendetta against a guy that locked him up and pointed a gun at him and made him look bad. So we'll have to see how it goes down, but let me know your thoughts, post your comments below, guys. And did you catch these things? Did I miss anything? Overall, it was a pretty good episode. It wasn't the best by any means, and it was a filler episode, but setting things up next week for the end is the beginning people. I can't wait to see how it goes down. I personally liked the episode because I like Daniel. Getting more to know about the character is always good in my opinion. And I love even the smallest callbacks to prior seasons of the same show or in the universe of The Walking Dead. But like I said before, thank you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to show your support. Thank you guys. Stay safe and tell them, Daryl.